thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Why don't you actually introduce yourself? Tell us your title, your professional title, and then what you do, what you like to be known as.
All right. So I'm Devlin Carter, the owner and designer at SIA Collective. We are here in our brain lab. This is where all the magic gets cooked up. We seen this video, man, and he did a better job than I've seen anybody do covering us. So I asked him if he wanted to do the interview in person, and he jumped on a flight, literally 1 o'clock in the morning. He found out that I told him he can come through. He got the flight. He came through, and this is literally within 24 hours. We're here.
That's what we do. We make things happen, right? So I couldn't miss this opportunity. I appreciate you having me here. Like you said, 1 a.m. as soon as he gave me that green light, I booked that flight, and we're over here. I'm from Ohio, and now we're out in...
We're in the Bay Area of California right now. Yeah. So, he went from Ohio, and we have a windstorm coming. So, he really just beat that. Flights are probably going to be delayed, but he made it.
Just slid in. So, let's start from the beginning of your career, but not only your career. Let's just talk about, how you got started, how you got into fashion and creating your own brand.
Okay, so guys, I used to customize shoes. I started in 1997 when I was actually attending the Queensborough Community College, and I was actually doing early child education. I was gonna be a kindergarten teacher. That didn't really work out. But I did meet this cool dude named Drew Carty. I always give him his credit, his respect, because I don't think if I ever met this brother, I would even be here today. He had painted a pair of Air Jordan 13s, and they were the Chicago colorway, and he painted the bottom sole royal blue. So they were red, white, and blue. It was the summertime, New York. And I was like, damn, where'd you get those from? He's like, man, I painted them. He took me to the shoe repair shop where he brought this paint at to paint them. And from that day forward, I already had all the Jordans. That was the only shoe I would buy back then. Because in New York, everybody does Air Force Ones, and I just feel
everybody had them.
Everybody got Air Force Ones, so I was like, but most people don't really buy the Jordans like that because they cost more. And I'm talking about back in '97.
Right.
So I had just started painting all my Jordans. I just went ape shit with it, and I started painting I remember the Jordan 14s was one of the first ones I painted. It was the Ferraris. Yeah. They're all black with the red, and I painted all of the red on it yellow. It's crazy because they came out years later with that one. But when I was walking on Jamaica Ave in Queens wearing those shoes, people were like, yo, where'd you get your Jordans from? And I'd be like, well, my sister's in the army in Germany, and they get different colorways over there than we get here. So I used to run that for a long time, but then I used to go to this sneaker store in the Coliseum block on 165, and every time I was on the Ave, I go in the store, be like, D, you done started this shit again. People keep running here talking about where the black and yellow Jordans or where this one is at, because after that, everybody would start walking with their head down, looking to see what everybody had on. So it just really started from there. And then 2 years later, in '99, other people figured it out. They started buying paint, painting their Jordans, doing murals on shoes, crazy dope paintings that I wasn't able to do. I didn't even know at the time anything about airbrushing and stencils. So people were doing stencil work. I was like, how can you paint that good and fade it like that? So I was like, since my mom was a seamstress and she used to make a lot of clothes for people, she used to always send me to buy fabric. So I was like, man, if I could figure out a way to put all these cool fabrics, I can go to the garment district in Manhattan and buy fabrics that has different crazy stuff on it. If I can learn how to sew that on the shoes, then nobody would be able to do that, because sewing is paying anybody to buy paint is $1. You got to buy fabrics, you got to buy a sewing machine, you got to do all of these things. Then now you got to actually not be lazy and really take it to that next level. So when I did that, that's when it really started. So
how old were you whenever you started sewing then?
Back then I was 19. No, I was 19 when I started painting shoes. So I was 21.
Okay, so still young. So I mean, what does it take? We all know whenever we're young men, kind of the perspective that people have on us. Mm-hmm. We want to be cool. We want to be hard.
Yeah.
So what does it take for a young man to want to pick up sewing right off the rip like that?
Well, back then it wasn't a big deal because we were sewing shoes.
Right.
It's different when
you weren't sewing
when you're sewing clothes and stuff.
Yeah.
I did have that. That was the reason why I never sewed clothes before, because thinking sewing is for women and all of that. And for me, my mom used to teach sewing classes on Sundays at our house, and people used to come over and learn how to sew. It was never men though; it was always women.
Right.
But it was crazy because if I just would have been nah, sewing, I could sew, I'd have learned. I could watch her every day when she was sewing, making stuff, because literally she would come home from work and make her next outfit to wear to work the next day.
Right.
like I've rarely ever seen my mom wear the same thing twice. Like she was like that dope.
That's impressive.
So seeing that, I wanted to be that, but in shoes. So that's when I just started like, doing all the sewing and the reconstruction of shoes and stuff like that. And being that nobody was able to do that at the time like that, I was making a lot of money. I used the money then because I was a professional barber to buy my first barbershop. And then that's just like really where it kind of like, we're talking about the 90s. Now we're talking about early 2000s. And I used to do a couple rappers videos. I did Cormega. I've done Jada Kids. I've done stuff for Little Kim, Foxy Brown. But now at this time, there's no social media. So everything back then, it gets played out. Like people, I don't want the custom Gucci Air Force Ones.
Right.
They move on to the next thing. And that's pretty much when that died out. That's when I had to make my next journey,
Gotcha. You have a pretty impressive timeline for such a short span. I mean, you're only how old?
I'm 44.
44.
Yeah,
44, and you sound like you've had like 4 to 5 different careers already just within that short period of time. And you mentioned rappers. You actually had a rap endeavor yourself, right?
Yep, I used to rap under the name D Nice. I had like 6 albums. Yeah. I even made it on this underground magazine in Harlem called The Shield.
Okay.
And they highlight underground rappers. When I made my first CD, they had interviewed me before that, and I was like, "Yo, what do you got to do to get the cover?" They was like, "Oh yeah," because the last cover they had gave it was to Lupe, and it was like, "Yeah, like independent artists stuff like that, they don't get the cover." But when the dude, his name was Dre Oba, he heard the album and he was like, "Yo, we gave you the cover." So I had got the cover. I was good at it, but at the time I was still in the military.
Yeah.
Which, with the kind of music I was making, because I made conscious rap, but also it's Rage Against the Machine type of shit. So, like, you can't be working for the government, being against the government. Right. Like, I wasn't against the government. It's just like some things that I would say, I know the military would have an issue with it,
right.
So that kind of like handicapped me from doing that, which I just feel like that wasn't even supposed to be my calling. I'd probably just be one of those underground nightclub rappers, backpack, nothing wrong with that, but I just knew I had all these other talents, and I knew that fashion, I looked at the competition. When I said luxury shoes, I go on Neiman Marcus. I'm like, man, all them shoes ugly. Them Gucci sneakers ugly, Louis Vuitton. I said, I can beat all of those guys. Yeah. And that's when I said, you know what? I'm just going to put all my time into that.
That's what it is, all the eggs in one basket.
Mm-hmm.
Just real quick, one more thing on the whole rap career.
Yeah.
I think I remember watching an interview with Torre.
Yeah.
I think he shouted you out.
Yeah,
in one of his interviews.
Yep, I did. Torre, NY Oil. I did one with him. We was on. I went viral one time, allhiphop.com, for a song called "Racism Still Alive." I got in trouble for that with the military. Bro, it was crazy, but man, it was fun though. It was fun. I had some good times making music, and it was therapy for me because my oldest daughter, she would be like 17 years old right now. She passed away right before her first birthday, and writing music was really what got me over that. I was like writing as therapy. So music for me was really therapy. I would come home and I would write every day. Same way I'm doing now in fashion. Every day we come in here and we design every day. There's not a day that goes by that we really don't design.
Wow. So what is your daily routine look like nowadays then?
Now I have all these kids. I'm about to have my 5th kid on Monday.
Congratulations.
So we have a planned C-section on Monday. So I'll have my 3rd son in a row. After having 3 daughters in a row. So now I'll have 3 boys in a row.
Switch it up.
Yeah, and then other than that, man, just being a dad, waking up at 5 in the morning, because being in the military all those years and standing these odd different watch hours, I have insomnia. So I wake up like at 5 in the morning, and then my team gets here. My assistant gets here at 7. My other designer, Danny, he gets here at 8. And when Danny gets here, we pretty much already start working on things. Sometimes in the middle of the night, I'll send him a text, and I'll be like, hey, Monday we're going to work on, because like the Kyrie, I say, I want to make a Kyrie blueprint colorway. I have this idea for the shoe, and he's like, okay, then the next day that'll be something that we'll start from there.
Right.
And then we'll just, just different things. Like my mind is always running and racing with different design ideas and stuff like that. So, but every day, literally the first thing I do is, I'm already starting to work because I work with China. So China, 4 o'clock our time, California, is literally when they are starting their workday.
Oh, wow.
So like in the middle of the night, so when I'm getting up, sometimes I don't go to sleep until like 1 in the morning because I'm trying to get a lot of stuff, a lot of details, and a lot of order stuff put together. And then they literally stop working around 7 a.m. So I'm up 5 so I can get that last 2 hours
Gotcha.
of, working on some things like, hey, can you get this? When is this sample going to be done? Such and such. And then once 7 a.m. hits, my assistant's here, and then really our day starts.
Seeing the operation and how it works and day to day, what's your team look like?
So so here in my 3-car garage in my house where we work from, I have my assistant, her brother, her nephew. I got my cameraman, Kid Films. I got Danny, my lead designer, and then I got Angel. We got Peppy. We got like 10 people, right? Almost at work here now.
Right.
Yeah, we got about 10 of us. Yeah, and then Philly. We got Philly, and then we have a whole team in Colorado. That's where our big fulfillment center is. That's where they ship the bulk of our stuff. Here is just stuff that we can manage as a team. Plus, I need to be close to the product.
Right.
Because if I just, I easily could do this job and not, have anybody working here and just literally leave it up to the fulfillment center. But no, we still need to be a part of the process. I need to be here. I need to feel that purpose to wake up every day and go for the bigger goal of what we're trying to achieve as Team SIA.
Right. I feel like that's what sets you apart from a lot of the other manufacturers. Your ability to pay attention to detail and not skimp out on the quality. I mean, you hit the nail on the head every time with every design you do. With the team and the operation, it seems like, from afar anyways, I've been following you a long time on Instagram. It seems like you're taking care of a lot of the stuff on your socials, maybe even orders and whatnot on your own. I mean, I'm sure you have assistants and stuff that help you out, but it really does look like you're taking care of a lot of that. So how do you balance that? And
so I don't do the customer service thing. That's Astrid. She handles that. I mean, I'm probably this year, because we're getting a lot of new growth, I'm probably going to add one more person to answer emails and stuff with her. But not only she does that, but she works directly for me, but my fulfillment center also handles the customer service emails. But that's them. I pay the owner there, and he pays his staff however he pays them. But as far as that work directly for SIA and get their check cut from somewhere in America, we have Astrid that handles that. But now, especially with a new kid about to be here, and I already have a 1-year-old son, so I almost having twins right now. So all of that stuff, I try to leave it to either my assistant Ashley or Astrid, and but Ashley really handles everything. Anything I need, she'll double back with me and be on top of it. She's like my right hand and handle all of the things that I need to handle. So that really, only thing I really want to focus on is designing with Danny.
So you were tearing apart shoes. You were putting them back together. Okay, nobody else in the game's doing that.
Right.
No one's doing it the right way anyways. A lot of these customizers are just throwing out bootleg shoes and calling them customs, and we know that that's not the truth.
Yeah.
But also something that stuck with me, you were talking about your mentor who was painting shoes. Your soul dye was it shocked the culture. It changed everything.
Yeah,
customs.
Yeah. Soul dye was. So I was watching. I think you even talked about this in your first video you did on us. But I was watching videos on YouTube, and I'm seeing these guys. They were using Rit dye and stuff, and they're trying to icy the shoes by dyeing it like that. But then you see they're oh, you got to do it every 3 days or it's gonna come off, and I'm like, that's not permanent. So from there, I started thinking of ways. I started working on ways to make a dye that could actually really sit and eat into the rubber and stay there. And man, I'm telling you, I done ruined. Man, I think I moved out of one of my apartments, and I had to pay $5,000
to fix the sink.
The sink, around the sink, bro, the dye was dyed the stainless steel. I didn't care. I turned it into a workshop. But I was making so much money, I didn't care. I was hopefully my deposit that I gave would pay it. I think at the time my deposit was probably $2,000. Yeah. And they was nah, you owe us $5,000 more than that. I was but at the time of the sold, I was making $50,000 a month. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Something that you can scale into a business like that.
I did.
Did you patent that?
No, I didn't patent it. Because at the end of the day, people were making soul dye already. So it's oh, you know what I'm saying? There was soul dyes, but it wasn't our soul dye. Right. So that wasn't where I knew it was, and that I just knew, because one, doing that, my hands were always red, pink, yellow, the dye would eat through the gloves. So I always had these crazy, my hands was always with dye, and I knew I didn't want to keep doing it. Yeah.
Right. It wasn't going to be a forever thing.
No, I just needed the capital from that to build, because the thing is, you want to be able to wake up, right, and not really have to do a lot of manual labor to just live your, and then so with that, I just you know what, I'm gonna keep saving this money so I can open my own store. I could produce my own shoes, my own stuff. As long as I have, my whole thing was always $100,000, right?
Yeah.
I was like, if I have $100,000, I'll never be on Shark Tank selling my company for 30%, right? Because everybody on Shark Tank, they're always like, oh, you know, our company made $4 million last year, Mark, and we're selling 20% of our company for $100,000. And it's like, yo, if you're making $4 million a year, why do you even need to be up here trying to sell parts of your company, right? It never made sense to me. But then I started realizing that they made $4 million, but it cost them 3.8 million to make it, because they're paying Google ads and all these different ad companies to put that spam in your email, and hopefully somebody buys it. So they're paying like $20 to $30 for a customer acquisition, whereas in that customer's only spending $20 or whatever. Yeah, you're making the money, but you're not making any profit.
Right.
You know, so. And then I would definitely want to go into what you was talking about with a lot of these customizers now, what they're doing. But so the thing is, when you're customizing sneakers, like say, for example, if you have a Jordan 1, when I would take a Jordan 1 apart, I would still use that whole shoe. So I would take it apart and I would wrap the pieces of the Jordan 1 with the new material, right? So the shoe would be a little bit heavier than it was before, but luxury shoes are a bit heavier. So, but I kept using the original pieces because Nike can't sue you for that. But what a lot of these other customizers are doing now, and I'm not talking about the bootleg guys who are lying that they're customizers that use China to make their shoes. I'm talking about the guys that are still taking sneakers, authentic Jordans, taking the sole off, and then remaking the whole upper and throwing away the upper from the original shoe. Right. Now there's no different than what you did, what China does, right? Yeah. If they got a fake Jordan 1 Dior and they take a Jordan 1 sole from an authentic shoe and put that on there, you still have a fake upper with a real sole. Right. So still, 90% of that shoe is still fake. And Nike had sued a customizer for that, because like even what Shoe Surgeon does it, he could get sued for that if Nike really wanted to, because he remakes the whole upper. So now you're remaking it. That's not their original thing. Right. You only are using an original sole. And I don't even think that's protected by first right use, because if you buy something, you should be able to customize it. But when you buy it and take it apart and then resell it as a custom, when you don't have any of the real parts on it other than the sole, they can definitely come after you. And they've done that before. But I think when they did do it, that I can't think of the guy's name. He used to work at Nike. Gotcha. And he did it. And then if you ever look up like Amazon Jordan 1s, he did like the Amazon Jordan 1, and they had sued him before they sued John Geiger. He was the last person they sued before they sued Geiger. But I think that was more being petty. Like, he left the company and then they started making more money by customizing the shoes, because he probably wasn't making like 60, 70K a year. Yeah, I remember the riffraff with Geiger. It makes you wonder how somebody like the Shoe Surgeon gets away with doing something like that. But at the same time, he's working so closely with these, like his shoes are listed on GoDaddy. Yeah, he's working with like Nike athletes too. Like he did a lot of stuff with Odell Beckham, and all those things. So I think, but he also works with Nike. So I think that he has permission. So that's why they don't. Yeah, but that works for him because he has a pass, because he's done classes too where they've made Jordan 1s at All-Star. You know, Nike brought out a warehouse and let him teach people how to do Jordan 1s, right? Because it's advertising for them. So I'm sure he has a pass. But like other people trying to do what he do, if they wanted to come after you, they could, because it's a difference between having permission and not having permission. Right. And then talking about classes, like you said, of course we can't have, you know, athletes meet up with designers like you, and this can't happen if we don't have designers of your caliber. Right. So you've been working in the past. I've seen some of the classes that you've done with younger kids and older kids. Could you talk a little bit about that and how that started? Yeah, I just it started this time of the year we are right now, like Christmas break, and I'm like, man, these kids gonna be home for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, not have nothing to do. You know, I don't really watch football like that. So I'm like, man, my Sundays are free. You know, I can have my kids come in and see what their dad does, and then bring some kids from the neighborhood in. So I just made a post on Facebook, Instagram. And I was just like, hey, I did post on Facebook too, but I was like, if your kid's not doing nothing and you want them to learn how to sew, make shoes, or make their own clothes, you know, bring them down to my boutique. It was a Carpe Diem fashion house. And I was like, but we can only probably take about 10 to 12, so it was like, boom, I think within the hour or something, we had all of the parents that wanted to send their kids, and literally that's how it started. And we started with the kids first, Ash, or we started with the adult? We started with the kids first. So we did like the under 12 or 13 years old. Yeah. And then after that, the next one we did the teen class, and Kaleem was in the teen class too, right?
Yeah. That's whenever you had like the graduation ceremony and you critique for all of them, didn't you?
Yeah. We did the graduation ceremony with our valedictorian sneakers.
The VV1.
Yeah,
right?
the VV1, because it was just like, you know, I just wanted to bring, when I made my first shoe, I said I want to bring back like that fun part of sneaker history, right? Like, how cool is it to buy a shoe? It's called the valedictorian. It comes with a diploma, right? And then when you get your shoe, you got to put the cap and gown on, and you got to walk hold that diploma. Like, I just thought that was a dope experience, and I just wanted to bring like stuff like that back to the culture. So with the VV1, that was dope. I kind of miss those days, but you know.
It's the whole package and experience that you bring to a shoe, and not just that, but like the designs. Every design that you've ever created, there's always something more about it that you don't see at first glance. And it's really hard to get something like that with Nike and Jordan Brand. You only get so many releases a year that they've got collabs that they can add some sort of detail in there like that. So how do you stay ahead of the game and know how to be innovative and know what needs to come out next? Because you really have been ahead of the game this whole time.
Well, I think that's just a gift that I've had, like, since I was a kid. I always knew, like, what was going to be next. It's called trend forecasting, but I can naturally trend forecast. I don't know. It's just a gift, right? Like, even now with the pandemic, I knew, like, we're going to get great sales during the pandemic because the government's giving out free money. Right. And what happens when you give people who, like, for example, like, people are getting $1,000 a week that didn't make $1,000 a month. So now you got somebody who never had money, you know, now they got free money. They have to work for it, right? It's because we have this global tragedy pandemic, and you're giving $1,000, that's $4,000, maybe $5,000 a month. Yeah. What are those people going to do? They're not going to save because they haven't been able to save. If you're living check to check, I've been there. You live check to check, but when you finally get something, you want to get those things that weren't attainable. Now you want to splurge and treat yourself because you're like, hey, it's free. It's free. I'm going to do it. So I knew every company during the pandemic made a whole lot of money. But I also knew, because I'm older, and I knew a pandemic, after you're going to have a recession. And in a recession, you're going to have people holding their money more tighter and be more responsible with their funds. So watching all of this, I'm looking in the pandemic and I'm seeing people like, yo, the Crocs is really popping right now. Like, like they're like, people are really like rocking Crocs like hard. And sweatsuits, athleisure, right? So I'm like, you know what? I know like a lot of people are not going to be able to spend like $220 on this shoe or whatever. So we need to, for those people that can't do that, we need to come up with a new item of footwear where we can have it in the $100 price range, where then we can still get those sales and still keep our company growing in a positive way. So that's when we started doing our foam joints. And the first ones we did was the SC20 foam. I said, one, I want a foam sneaker that like really is comfortable, but you can really wear it with like cargo pants and stuff like that. So the one thing I wanted to do was add the laces, and then I wanted to add the neoprene booty. So that way you have an insert that's also like, because neoprene is weatherproof too. So like if it's summertime you're wearing it, you can just literally take the shoe off, and now you have this like neoprene sock. You go to the beach. A lot of people don't like to have their open toes out on the beach, especially in sneakerheads don't ever want to show their toes. So I'm like, boom, this is perfect. This is a waterproof sock that comes in the shoe. Now you can still have this cool looking sock that's not a sock, and you can go in the water. You can still be a sneakerhead, and you know, still feel comfortable and masculine, because I don't know why showing your feet is not masculine to sneakerheads, but that's what we did. So
what's the difference between these and the ones that you're talking about now? Those have the sock in them.
Okay, yeah, we can pull this one up because this is our third or fourth shoe. So this is the Vulture. This is the Vulture foam. Like our #1 selling shoe. That's why I'm wearing my necklace right now. Is this shoe right here, the Vulture, and this came from Petty Beef. That made me hella rich. So this is the foam version of this sneaker version, right? So this is the Vulture foam. This booty is fly knit though, right? So the other one was neoprene, right? So this was the SC20 foam right here. And it's lace, and another thing, like I said, I wanted to do cool lacing. So look how they lace that. Like, and you can lace it any way you want to. And we would do tutorials to show people. Then you have this neoprene booty, right? That also, this is the utility one, so it has the zipper. Because we just want to make cool stuff, right? So, and that goes in here. And then the other cool thing about this, what I noticed with foams, like Crocs, they don't have removable foam inserts. So this also had that. And also, if it was like a little tight, you get that space, right? So you have this. So why this is important is because this will make the shoe last longer, right? Because foam is going to bottom out. Like you guys know, especially sneakerheads. Remember when Boost was the thing? Everybody, oh Boost, oh Ultra Boost, Ultra Boost. Then now you can't even resell Ultra Boost. Ultra Boost used to resell for a nice amount of bread. Now they don't resell.
Right.
One, the allure of it was just hype. That's why I hate hype. Hype always dies fast, right? But then it's also once Boost bottoms out, they're not really that comfortable anymore. So all foam has a lifespan. So with being able to have a removable insert, you now have a longer lifespan on that shoe itself, right? So this was our first foam shoe that we made that took laces and the insert. And then I was thinking, even with the laces and the inserts, then people can go on our website, buy different color laces. They can buy different booties, and you can wear it without the booty too. You don't need to have it with the booty paws.
So is that how it's sold then? So like whenever you hop on the site and you have a new drop, are you buying the foam itself?
Yeah, you get the foam. It comes in a cool box. Yeah. But if you want the booty and the laces are sold separately.
You get it.
You can mix and match. It's kind of like the Croc Gibbets.
Yeah.
So I was thinking like, oh, how can I have my own type of Gibbet style thing, accessories, but still make it super cool? So that's what we did. So like people can come up with their own colors. We sell these in every color you can think about, and we have our laces. We have laces that glow in the dark. These laces are fully reflective. So just like things like that. So that was the first iteration of that. But I did skip before that. We did the Vulture slide on, which looks like a more futuristic Croc. Mm-hmm. And then we did the Vulture slides, which was a slide that just covered your big toe and the rest of your other four toes was out. Because one slides, your foot slides all the way through. So I made it where it covers the big toe. One, if you're walking by your bed and you hit that corner of that dresser, boom, your big toes protected.
Yeah.
But then secondly, your foot can't slide forward out of it. I know you've seen the memes or whatever where the dude slid through his Yeezy slides, and the slide is stuck literally up his calf, and he can't get it out, and it looks like some crazy type thing, like you would panic.
Yeah.
So that's to stop that from happening. So that's why we did those two slides that way. Then we went SC20 foam. Then after the SC20 foam, we went Vulture foam, right?
Yeah.
So we went Vulture foam after that, and now I said, you know what? Let's double back. When we did the SC20, the SC20 is actually a one-of-one Lamborghini concept car that actually is in existence. It's the Lamborghini SC20. So I looked at that and came up with this design off of that, right? So now I'm thinking like, man, when we did this, I didn't have my guy Danny here. Me and Danny went to school together. We were in the same class. Mm-hmm. I had my other guy Vince, but Vince just wasn't a sneaker drawer. He's a graphic artist, a dope graphic artist. But when it comes to like drawing shoes, you gotta actually know that. So I was like, now that me and Danny are here working on, I said, yo, let's redo it and do a V2.
Yeah.
So now we've done a V2, which I'll show you, and you can put it into the film for them to see it. But because we don't have the actual sample here yet, but that one is going to be like the dopest foam shoe and most comfortable. We're going to use our new SIA foam, but that shoe looks like a Lamborghini. Like when you look at that shoe, you say, okay, yeah, I know where this got inspired from. Like it looks like a Lamborghini. So that's the SC20 V2. And then, like I said, we have the Vulture slide on. And we may have another foam shoe that I'm missing that we're designing or something. But yeah, man, and it's cool because this now, we did a pre-order, but we did a membership. So we did the black and white pair, and we said, you know what, you buy this, we'll give you our membership for free too. And we got like over 4,000 new members. Wow. Because they just love this shoe. And whenever I post this shoe, people want this shoe so bad. But they're in production right now. I can't wait till they hit the streets because this is a size 8, right? And sock shoes I can wear 8, but in these I need a 9. So that's why you never really see me wearing them. I wear them in the video, but man, after about an hour they start hurting. Hey, look at these shits, it's fire. I'm sorry,
yeah. They
like
are,
this
seriously.
Colorway. It's like who's red and black? Deadpool. It's like Deadpool, right?
Those and then your like the yellow scorpion looking ones.
Yeah.
I really love like the chunky laces, the way you got them freaked. I mean everything about this shoe.
Yeah, that's a sneakerhead, right? Like you loosen the laces and don't tie them and choke them. Yeah.
Yeah, those are so hard. So how many shoes right now do you have in production that you're like continuously making?
Damn. We've designed over 30 shoes. Yeah. 30 models.
Sheesh.
Like, yeah, we designed over like 30 models Yeah, because we also do women's shoes too, and I'm not even counting those. I'm not even counting the women's shoes we design. But yeah, it's in the 30s right now. It might be more. I might be like, forgetting something, but like, yeah, because just so with all this Kyrie stuff, it just like reignited us. Like that week that we had the meeting with his team, me and Danny designed like six new shoes.
Wow.
Danny, 6?
6 or 7.
6 or 7. Six and girls.
Can't forget that one.
We're doing one right now.
We doing one right now.
There you go. So, and what does something like that? I know we haven't really touched on it yet, but what does something like that do to your business, your socials?
Something like the Kyrie thing.
Just that hype.
Yeah. So, because of that, we definitely got like 40,000+ new followers. And before that, like our page gets shadow banned a lot. Like I don't know why it gets shadow banned. Like all we do is post shoes and stuff. We don't even cover anything politically or anything like that. It's just that's how Instagram works. Or it's just somebody with the powers that be don't want to see something independently, become super great, because that changes the paradigm for them. We had over 1.1 million accounts we reached last month, and it said 0% from ads. Which is crazy. So like that is a lot of new people finding out about us, as you have seen too on YouTube, finding out about SIA and now talking about it and like, hey, this company must be doing something right if they could even get an interview with Kyrie. And then Kyrie speaking about us when asked in his post press conference, that helped as well. But it's really people like you, people like DMD Live News, just telling people like, yo, this guy is he could really help Kyrie and really do this thing. Because when all of the Nike stuff, when he got suspended, I had people in the comment section on different posts saying, man, he needs to work with SIA Collective, he needs to work with SIA. So soon as I got the text message that Nike, because we were talking about it, I know people in the industry, and they were like, yeah, I knew Nike was going to drop him even before that. They weren't going to re-sign him because they were going to give Ja his spot.
Yeah, they're ready for Ja.
Everybody knew that ever since the that they call them the Infinities now, but that was supposed to be the 8, and he made this post about it that he didn't like them and he had nothing to do with it. From there, they didn't want to work with him anymore. Then the whole, the pandemic and not getting the vaccine and shit, all of that for Nike, they were already done. But as soon as they made that post that they dropped him, I said, boom, I'm gonna get on my Instagram. I'm gonna make this video since everybody's telling me to reach out. I'm like, man, I know the power of social media. Let me make this video. Let me tag a few people in it. People are gonna repost it. And I'm telling you, man, that video, that video went out. And so many people hit up his agent, because his agent is also his stepmom.
Gotcha.
So, so I'm like, I had made the video. I didn't know who his agent was. Somebody, a female DM'd me and was like, hey, this is giving me the mom's page, the stepmom's page. Like, this is her page. Tag her in the video, because she only has like 1,400 followers. So like, if you get 10,000 people just adding you, you're gonna see it. Your phone's gonna blow up. Like, hold up, I only have 1,400 followers. Why people keep adding me to this? They're gonna see it. So she saw it, and if I found out in my interview with them that she was like, she's never had like anybody reach out to her so much and tell her like, yo, work with that guy, like, because she used to work at BET. And she was like, man, I had one of my old coworkers call me at the oddest hours at the night. It was like, hey, just call him. Yeah. So she was like, man, and I was apologizing. I was like, man, I'm sorry. I didn't know they was going to do that. Like, she was like, no, that's a good thing. That was in a good way. She was like, I loved it. She was like, that just says a lot about you. So I was like, that's why it's good to have a good reputation. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because the real people will understand, and they're going to go to bat for you. And a lot of people went to bat for me. So regardless of how that plays out, I know we're going to talk about it more, but regardless of how that plays out, man, it's already a W for us.
Yeah, and rightfully so. I mean, if this were to happen, some sort of partnership with Kyrie, I mean, you're definitely the man for the job. And I wanted to ask, how does, obviously you made the video, what does the contact with a team like Kyrie's team look like? Have you spoken to Kyrie directly at all about any of this?
So literally from that video that I sent out, she DM'd me back and said, hey, send me an email. So I sent the email to the email address she gave me. I responded to them, and then she responded back and was like, hey, will you be available to do a Zoom call this Friday? I said, of course. Friday was 12 o'clock noon East Coast time. So that's how it started. We set up the interview. When I was doing the interview, it was It was her. It was a Zoom call. So it was her, Dredd, which is Kyrie's dad, and then I think his name is Jeff, who's Kyrie's like brand marketing manager.
Okay.
So it was us three. She had every one of them basically pitched herself to me, like tell me who they are, what they do, and all of that. And then it got back to her. She's super accomplished. She basically Power 105.1, which is crazy because this comes right back. Because me being on the Breakfast Club, me being on the Breakfast Club is literally what got my company like out of like just got us everywhere. Because when I did that Breakfast Club interview, I think my Instagram page had 32,000 followers. Literally by say like 2 months after that, we were already over 150,000 followers. So that right there gave us the new looks, the new people, and she helped start that company. She started Power 105.
That's incredible.
Right? So without her, there wouldn't even have been a Breakfast Club interview. Right? There would be no Breakfast Club.
Right.
There's no Power 105.
That's crazy.
So she said that, and I was just like, it's instantly in my, I didn't say anything out loud, but instantly in my head, I was like, man, this is a full, it's a full circle moment, right?
For sure.
So, so from that, then she, she told me she did that. I think she still currently works at BET. She's a exec. And then she just told me, like, her husband was like, and Kyrie was like, man, take the agent's exam, because I'm sure he probably was like, I can tell by that call that his team is like my team. We're like a family. Yeah. They're the Kai Family Foundation. This is the SIA family. Like, 3 letters, SIA, KAI. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So we all on that call, like, noticed that too. And, and from that, it was just like, it was really great. Of course, they had their questions like, what are your sales? What shoe is your most popular shoe? What's your price points? All of those type of things, and I told them I gave them all the numbers and all of that stuff. And then they asked me if I had any like patent or any technology, and I told them right now we are developing our own SIA foam, which is going to be like Boost, but better and have better kinetic energy return with the way that we develop it. Also with using carbon fiber shank plates and using just, I was like, that's just one proprietary thing that we have, but we also have access to a lot of these other things, because one thing about China is if the tech is out there, you can get it. Right. So, but I was like, it doesn't matter if I patent it or not, because it's China. I can patent it. Only thing I can do is sue an American company if I buy their shoe, I cut it in half, and I see that they're using my stuff. Yeah. But if I don't do that, then it's China. They make fake Jordans. Like if Nike can't stop from making fake Jordans, Adidas can't stop from making fake Yeezys. Like what am I gonna do to stop them from stealing a technology that I developed? But I assured them like that no matter what, the shoe that I would design and make for Kyrie would be a performance beast. It would have the tech that you need. I can mimic. I've already seen his shoes cut open. I know exactly what's in the shoes. I know that he had turf toe in college, so I know like under the ball of his foot, he needs a little bit more buoyancy there, because you don't want to reactivate that injury. Like all these things, I've been studying this, right? Like I'm damn near a foot doctor at this point, because regardless if this happens or not, I'm going to make performance basketball shoes, so I need to know those things, right? Like I've been working with Foot Dr. Zach. He's another YouTuber, a podiatrist. You know what I'm saying? So because of all of that, I'm already developing and building a team that can help Kyrie, because our deal is not for him to sign and be SIA Collective. Right. My deal is you're Kyrie, be the Kyrie brand, and let SIA Collective be your creative director, because one, we can design everything that you would need footwear wise and clothing wise, athletic, athleisure. As an athlete, you can't do that yourself. Nike's never let you go to China and see their factories. Right. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to open those doors for you. They're going to empower you to be in a position to maybe overthrow them. They're not going to do that. None
of these big brands are delving into the technology like you are. Most of these guys, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, you probably know some of them firsthand, they're probably just picking colors, if that. They're probably just getting thrown designs and then put them on their feet just because that's what they're told to do. Yep. And something like this, I heard you preach about ownership for Kyrie, and I think it's sweet what you're doing, your approach at it with a partnership, and just being kind of a design team for Kyrie. It also reminds me of the time whenever Kanye was putting forth the effort for music artists to get their own masters. Kind of the same type of concept. Yep. So What do you think? What do you think the importance is for an athlete or any individual, for that matter, whether that be a music artist, to have the rights to their own brand?
Yeah, well, so you gotta think about it like this, right? Like somebody like Kyrie, he got signed to Nike at 19 years old, so instantly right there. And then you gotta think before he even did that, he was at a Nike school. He was at Duke.
Yeah.
I don't remember the high school he went to off the top of my head, but I'm sure that was a Nike school too. I'm sure when he played AAU ball, he was wearing Nike. So they've been already grooming. You know, they grooming you from when you're this young, talented athlete. So by the time you get 19, they're like, you know what, we're gonna invest this money in you. We're gonna give you your own brand, right? So with a lot of athletes, I'll tell you straight up, maybe sign a 5-year, 6-year deal with Nike. Let them use their $1 billion of marketing that they use every year to make you a household name. Right. Then when that 6 years is up, that whole time you're in it, start building your own brand within. So when your contract is up, you've already used their major platform to get 3 million, 4, 5, 6 million followers on social media. Now you can use all of that because they use your likeness to sell their product. Now you can take your likeness back. Right. You don't have to re-sign that contract. You don't need to jump to Under Armour or Adidas. Now you can start building your own brand, right? So I tell you, use that first. Like I tell anybody, like if you wanna do something else. Like it's a lot of people hit me up and say, hey, I want to make my own shoes. I want to make my own shoes. Yeah, but not making shoes, you just want to make shoes. Why? Because somebody else makes shoes? Everybody else makes shoes? Is that really the only reason why you want to do it? Are you passionate about it? Right? Because a lot of people now want to make shoes because they see a lot of people making money off of it, but they are not you. What they do may not be what you're good at. So you can sit there and buy 100 pairs of fake Jordan 1s off of AliExpress and have your own logo put on the side, and you may only be able to sell 3 pairs. Now you just lost money. You lost thousands of dollars because you wanted to follow a trend of somebody else. So I say when you want to do something like that, don't quit your day job while you're chasing this other job, right? You don't usually want to quit a job before you have another job lined up. Is pretty much what I'm trying to get at. So while you're there at that company, start doing all your research. Take your trips. You're a millionaire. Take a trip to China. Make relationships. Make handshakes. And then the last 2 years of your contract, you're building your brand where you're like, you know what, man, I made this performance shoe. So now they're like, oh, December 21st, Andrew Wiggins is no longer with Peak. Oh, December 22nd, Andrew Wiggins shows his new shoe. The Andrew Wiggins won by Andrew Wiggins Sports.
Right. Why do you think more athletes are
complacency?
They just
complacency.
It's too easy.
It's
too easy
easy
for them to get money.
Think about it. They've been training you to take the free stuff.
Yeah.
AAU all the way to college. You ain't paid for no shoes.
Right.
So they haven't made you a businessman. They've made you a handout. You're like, oh, you got your handout. They're gonna put something in it, but they haven't made you a businessman. Taking free stuff does not make you a businessman unless you then take that free stuff and sell it. Right. And nobody's not doing that.
The convenience has kind of ruined it to the point where it's not even the money anymore. Like I heard you talking about the LeBron deal, and whenever anybody talks about the LeBron deal, they're like, "Holy cow,
it's the best deal in the world."
Made $1 billion. I
think Steph got the same deal like that too. And I think it's a dumb deal.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's not a good deal. You could have made so much more money if you did it on his own.
Just say, give me $20 every shoe I sell.
Yeah.
Just give me $20 every pair of shoes you sell with my name on it. Give me that. Don't give me I don't want the $1 billion because you know what?
Why not?
Kanye was getting $11 a shoe, and he made over $1 billion in 6 years.
Yeah.
How long has LeBron been in the league? 20. How long has he had shoes? 20. And now, how many billions of dollars has Nike made over LeBron in 20 years?
Right.
They probably made $1 billion off him in his first 2 years. He was hot. He was smoking.
And
right?
Drops in the bucket compared to
But think about that, though. Think about that. Kanye, in literally 6 years, became a billionaire. LeBron, they're not sure if he's a billionaire. They say, but he's not worth more than Kanye. They had Kanye's worth at $3.6 billion. If his whole contract would have played out with Adidas, because he was getting $500 million a year. Yeah. LeBron's not getting $500,000 a year.
No.
I mean, $500 million a year from Nike. He's not. He's probably getting 20, 30.
So again, do you think it's like complacency with somebody like Kanye? I mean, he's got the money. He has the design mind. He just doesn't have that team behind him. I mean,
who's about Kanye?
Kanye, yeah. Why?
Well, with Kanye is probably one. I don't know. Personally, I don't know how much the designing Kanye actually even does.
Right.
Because he's not a designer. He'll tell you that. He said it. He's not a designer. He can't sew. You've never seen him at a sewing machine. Right. He can find talent. He found Demna or whatever, but he finds talent. But I don't know what he actually designs. He didn't design the Yeezy from Nike. He worked with a designer from Nike, and I think that's the same thing he did with Adidas, because it's odd that we're thinking all of these shoes is Yeezy's designs, but Adidas owns all of them, and the only one they don't own is the slides, is the Yeezy slides. But all of the other shoes, because think about it like this, like they have the Yeezy headquarters in LA, but those employees that work in there get their paycheck from Adidas, right? Because when all this stuff came out saying, oh, he's been doing the Hitler stuff in the office for years, and we've complained to Adidas about this, and they never did anything. Why would a worker that works for Yeezy brand have to complain to Adidas unless those workers are actually Adidas employees? Right. So I think, so I don't know how much of it that he designs, but at the end of the day, he also, you could even see when he was on Sway, he also is brainwashed to think that only they can do it. Remember, but it ain't Ralph though. Yeah. How Sway, and then now when all this stuff happens, he's now saying Sway was right. But even from that whole exchange with Sway, I got inspired by it. When Sway was telling Kanye, you could do this, you do boom boom boom, you could do all of this, you can do it, and he was telling him like, no, how am I gonna do it? And I looked at it and I was like, nah, he's right. You can do it. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do it. Yeah. And I did it. I didn't have nowhere near the money that Kanye West had to build a brand. Right? But now I have a company worth over $100 million from my, if we did, because everything is about projections. You go from your sales and your projections. That's how Kanye West was projected to be worth $3.6 billion, right? Because that was his projection. If he finished his deal with the Gap, finished his deal with Adidas, the bulk of it was coming from Adidas. If he would have had his years when his contract would be up, this is what his payout would have been before taxes, whatever. That's how they do it in the estimation. So I seen what he did, and not a rapper, not making any of those money he makes out of all the other stuff he had. I've been able to make a company that's worth over $100 million from my damn garage. Yeah,
that's awesome.
You know what I'm saying?
Flowers for that, seriously. You do.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, it's the mind, right? Because a lot of people are complacent. Complacent mind is thing. Then you have your outliers. Like, I'm an outlier. Like, I don't believe in that. I believe that I can do it, and I'm going to do it. Right, because I have a freedom of thought, like real freedom of thought. Like, I'm not gonna let anybody else's fears convolute what I know is inside of me. Because one thing, when even I'm sure you've seen it on your page when you posted like, yeah, Kyrie can go to Cyber, and people's like, oh, how can he make a tech shoe? Yeah. How can he do this? Because that's their fear. Right. You're putting your fear onto us, onto me, but you're not, because I know I've been to China. I know I can do it. As a matter of fact, I know I'm going to do it, and when the shoe's cut open in half, and they're going to be like, oh my God, this guy really did it, because they think it's so hard. It's hard to you because you haven't done it. This ain't my first sneaker I'm building. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've been here for a few years now. I've been to China. We setting up a trip actually to go back to China in April, because now Americans can visit again. So I'll be visiting all these different factories, and with me, all I need to do is see. Give me 10 minutes of seeing what you do in your factory or how you doing this. It's done. I already got it. When I was getting recruited by Under Armour, I'm in their factory. I'm in there, where they're, one thing I noticed is that they all had Nike shoes. Really? And Adidas, yeah. When I went to Under Armour, I went to their campus in Baltimore.
They didn't even like their own shoes.
No, that's not what it is. They weren't wearing their shoes. They had their shoes.
Oh, I got you.
So they had their shoes there. So they buy their shoes to look at why is this certain model, right? So they'll say like everybody thinks any sock shoe is a Yeezy, when Yeezy's not the first person to make a sock shoe. He's just the most popular rapper that had influence, so he's the most popular influencer who made this thing first, who made it, and you think it's first because you didn't pay attention to it, so he got on it. Like, he's not the first person to make foam sneakers. Like, he's one of the last people to the party on foam sneakers, but sneakerheads don't know much. They only know what Nice Kicks or Soul Collector tells them. But why hasn't Nice Kicks covered anything about SIA in Kyrie? Yeah. You're a sneaker brand, we're a sneaker brand, but I bet you when the shoe comes out, you're gonna want us to try to pay you to put it up on your page, but we're not, because we don't care. But that's, you know what I'm saying? That's when you're getting your information from this limited source that doesn't even do their job. I can't always blame the consumer, like, why they think Kanye invented water, because they've only started paying attention to whatever he's wearing because it's him. And he has that influence. And to have that much influence and to not right now already have new shoes ready to go is crazy to me. Yeah. Like, he wanted to get out of that Adidas deal. Where's your next shoe? Right. Like, my whole thing is like, there's no sanity in that, right? Because it's like, you okay, if people say, oh, you did this Jewish thing, you was like, oh, you hate Jews and all of this to get out of your deal because you knew it would repress Adidas, then why would you leave and then go run to Skechers when the owner and his son are Jewish?
So silly. It's just like you said before about quitting your job before you have your next job.
Right, and I don't think
exactly
he had a plan.
So what do you think makes, like, if we were to put ourselves into Kyrie's shoes right now, okay, let's say I'm Kyrie, I'm hooping tonight in Chicago, I think. He's got a busy schedule. What is going to make him look at this whole deal differently? What's gonna steer him away from complacency and just taking another check from somebody else instead of taking the time to work on something this important?
That I don't know, but if I was to give my own personal guess, I know with him, he definitely wants to wait till the season's over. Like, they're playing lights out. They may shock the league and actually make it to the finals.
Yeah.
You know, it's a hard road going through, you know, the Bucks and the Boston, but they're playing great ball right now. So I'm sure that's the only thing on his mind right now. From listening to his press conference when he talked about us, I can see that he's thinking like he kept saying something about tribal relationships. So he may be thinking about maybe doing something like in Australia, like in places where he has it. But I don't know what company will be able to do that for you. You know what I'm saying? Like Kyrie is very, like, you watch his page, he's very stern and astute on like black owned, like black, we gotta come together as black people and show our power and all of this stuff. And I just can't see that. And then you sign with like a Li Ning or an Answer. It just doesn't make sense. And then at the same time, he's talking global sales and all this global marketplace. And you can't, there's no black-owned brand that is global. You are the global black-owned brand, but it was attached to Nike. Kyrie is a black-owned global brand. Steph Curry is a black-owned Curry brand, but it's owned by Under Armour. It's owned by Nike. So if you're looking for that, you're never going to find a global black-owned brand that has that power that Nike has unless you create it.
Right.
So hopefully that's what he's thinking, that he has to create it, because Kobe was going to create it, right? Before his untimely passing. So that's the only thing, is that I think, because he's talking ownership, so I think he's in the right direction, and I hope that doesn't mean signing with one of the Chinese brands, because I heard New Balance wasn't, but the New Balance said, no, we're not interested. Adidas, I really don't know who wants to go to Adidas for basketball shoes, because their basketball shoes they don't do it. Like, nobody is like excited by Adidas basketball shoes, and that's no disrespect to Adidas. It's just the facts. Of the sneakerheads, I've never heard anybody like, yo, the Adidas basketball shoes. Right. Like, it hasn't been said in a long time. Maybe Kyrie could change that, but I just don't see how Adidas gonna give you ownership when they didn't even give Kanye true ownership. They gave him royalties. Right? If you own, I don't see that. New Balance, they're out. Who else is it? Puma. I don't know if Puma's gonna give the ownership. I mean, they have a young LaMelo Ball. I know Jay-Z is running the basketball thing, and Kyrie used to be Rock Nation. Maybe they might work something out. Who knows? But as long as he's sticking to that ownership, and he wants to do it, my door is always open to help, be a creative director or whatever. But yeah, I just hope that move is powerful and it's not like a complacent move. And like, you know what? I'm just got a lot going on. I'm just comfortable just taking a check or taking a slice of fake ownership where it's like, oh yeah, we'll give you some stocks. Right. But if that's the case, I can buy stocks of a company. Right. You know what I'm saying?
It's just a matter of whether it's the point in time in his life, I guess, that he's ready to do something like that on his own. And I mean, I'm sure he feels pressure. I mean, do you feel pressure on the situation?
Not at all. Because like I said, man, the only thing this did for us, it gave us more of a following. Like, more people know about us. And now it's also lit a whole nother match for me. Yeah. Like, and that's what I live for. I live for creating. So now I get to show everybody I can create a fire-ass performance basketball shoe. And before we even jumped on camera, you've seen some of the stuff that I've done. Like, so you already know what we're capable of doing, because you've actually got to see it. And so we're gonna make them regardless. So I'm a season ticket holder with the Sacramento Kings, but De'Aaron Fox is a free agent. Once I get my shoes done, I can present them to him too and be like, yo, do you want to partner? Like, so there's once I have it, I gotta have the product first, So once I have it, then I can start, talking to these players. You know, more and more players are knowing about me. They see me courtside. I got my relationship with Montrez. We do his performance shoe, and we're about to go into a whole new one with him, because with Montrez, that was just us like really just coming into the game. Like, I never even wanted to make performance shoes, but Montrez, he's like, yo, you think we could do it? I was like, bet. You know what? If you want to do a lifestyle shoe, you know what? Let's do a performance shoe. So at least I could be like, yo, I have one of my shoes on the NBA court. And now that he loves that one, now it's time to really show that I can do that, because I feel like this. I feel like just as a black-owned company and what we do, I feel like I'm one of the rare ones, and just the way, like, my attention to detail, the way I care about these products, I have to achieve as much as possible so that every young designer after me can know, like, you know what, it is possible. I seen Devlin Carter do it. So my job is to achieve as much as possible before I die, so that at least I know there's going to be a group of designers, a group of kids right now, 20 years from now, that may be doing the same thing we're doing.
Yeah. Man, it might sound crazy, but the comparison between you, I watch a lot of podcasts. I watched the Full Send podcast, and Elon Musk was on there.
Mm-hmm.
And man, after watching that, like, I felt so much pressure for him to do something for the world and just like for mankind in general. I feel the same way about you.
That's
like,
dope.
Just sitting here talking about it, I'm like, Devlin is literally the Elon Musk of shoes.
Trying to.
Devlin Carter is literally the Elon Musk of shoes. And it's not just shoes in general. It's developing these athletes and these celebrities and designers beneath you, because they can't do it. They can't do it without that. I mean, we're learning that firsthand from Kanye, jumping from big brand to big brand, and it's not working. So we need to transform things, obviously.
Most definitely.
Kyrie's not the only one that you've pursued or worked with. Montrezl Harrell, we talked about. Steph, got a good relationship with him.
Yep.
I think I heard Andre Drummond in the past, maybe.
Yep. We just met with Andre Drummond too.
So what's your deals with those guys look like as far as business?
Yeah, so Steph is Steph is Under Armour, but like, he loves what we do. His favorite shoe is the VV1. So and then that just when I had the FBCC kids, my kids were able to do the Curry 6 Christmas in the Town. So they got to do that. Were you with the Curry 6 Christmas in the Town too? Oh, that was the younger ones, right? Yeah.
So is Steph allowed to wear what he wants then still, or?
Yeah, Curry. Well, it can't. Technically, he's not supposed to wear competition. So the VV1 is a luxury shoe. So that's why you see like a lot of basketball players, they'll wear like like some Balenciagas or whatever, even though they have Nike deals, because that's not a competing brand for them. And so it's considered a whole different market. But now, what I've noticed with Steph is that now he has his Curry brand. So like how they got Jordan brand, so now he has Curry brand. So I notice a lot more now that off the court, even like sitting on the sidelines now, he's wearing like his Curry brand lifestyle shoes instead of wearing like a Fear of God like he would normally wear or something like that. So I think he's getting more sold into his brand and trying to create that, because I think that's part of his $1 billion deal with Under Armour as well.
I got you. So all these celebrities you worked with, anybody else outside of sports?
Outside of sports, not really. Like we have a lot of people that buy our stuff that are famous. We have football players. Like right now, we're doing some cleats. So we're gonna be doing the Vulture cleats that should be ready for next season.
Nice.
Yeah, and we like Cam Jordan from the Saints. He's a super huge supporter. He's always posting us on his story. He's a Nike athlete, but he'll post like himself in some D1Ys, like, so, so that's dope because he don't care. He's wearing whatever. Like he loves the Vultures. The Vultures. He loves the Vultures. He's the ones I'm wearing right now. He wants these so bad. He DM'd me about them.
Those are hard.
Like, yeah. So it's just, and these are the 678s. I'll show them on camera. Yeah. These bad boys right here.
Look at that suede.
Yeah, look at that. You see, like, it's like grass.
Oh,
like, so like it's just like the quality, right? It's you see the sole. It looks like Tetris. So he did it with SIA and put it there. But like it's just like a lot of people now. What I'm loving, like I just had Kenya Barris hit me up last night. He writes Blackish, Grownish, those shows. He wanted to buy the Evo foams. So like now the more people are seeing our stuff and they're like, wow. They're respecting the quality. They're respecting, that I care about, like how you said, the packaging and stuff like that. Like I watch YouTube videos and you see these shoe tubers, like the more popular ones, Nike will send them a dope box. You know, like remember the ice cream box for the chunky donkeys and all that.
Yep.
They'll send that to this YouTuber who didn't even pay for it because it's advertising. I get it, but at the same time, what about your customer that has over $100,000 worth? He has a shoe room in his house.
Right.
Why he don't get that special treatment? So that's why with packaging, I'm like every customer gets that. If I make a shoe, like we got the cigarette box, we had these with Ari. He had did the ones that he got sued for it. What was it? The menthol tins. Yeah. So, but when I made them, after we sold them out and stuff like that, I sent him a check.
Yeah.
Like he's like nobody, because everybody's trying to do it now, and he's like nobody sent him a check. He said, "Man, you're a stand-up dude." I said, "Nah, man, you changed the culture, man. If I could put some bread in your pocket for sure."
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, man. So we get a lot of we get actors, celebrities, and it's cool because the more and more I find out, I'll look at somebody's page or somebody tag and be like, "Oh shit, you wearing SIA?
Yeah. This
person's wearing SIAs." So it's definitely finally we're getting to that point now where that word of mouth is hitting that next stage, and that's the way I built this. Like I won't pay for any ads. I just really want this to grow organically because I just feel like when it's grown organically, you actually have a brand presence and you have a brand people know yo, when I mess with SIA, it's because I know him. I know what he stands for. But when you're doing ads, people just see an ad, oh, that shoe's kind of cool, whatever. But they don't understand the brand and how we're built and what we do. Then they're not really ready for this community.
Right. It is a community in itself. Yeah. And you talk about all these celebrities, wearing your stuff and whatnot. What's the if you're looking through your phone, you're like, dang, I got that contact in my phone. What's the one that's like
Shaq?
Wow. Shaq.
Yeah, Shaq, Steph. Yeah, because Shaq is super cool. I would say if you think about it, I'm 44. For Shaq? Huh? Yeah, I made size 22 for Shaq. Yeah, Shaq has SIAs. Yeah, he wants a lot of SIA, but
I remember you posting that on IG.
Yeah. He wants these. He wants the Vulture foams. He wants the Evos. The Evo over here. This is the Avatar joint, Avatar Blues. But he wants these in a different color. But he's like, I want 20 pair. But he doesn't understand. He was a 22. That's an Evo. Yeah, they can make that because that's a They don't have a EVA mold that can fit the way EVA shoes are made, which is why I wanted to do EVA shoes. They're poured almost like making a Jello cup. Gotcha. So when it comes out, it's already made. With ours, since we wanted them to be a real sneaker, so they're not like foam runners is just all foam. Like our shoes, they have the rubber bottom, which makes it actually a real sneaker because now you have traction and you can have grip, and then you can do a non-skid. So that's with those. The only thing we can make for Shaq is that little rubber part on the bottom, but that foam part, they don't have a machine. Even when we made Shaq's shoe the first time, we had to get the machine from Yao Ming's shoemaker. Oh wow! Yeah, because that's really Yao Ming's was a 20 or something because they had to put two machines together to make the mold. Yeah. So that's tragic. But that it would be it'd probably be Shaq. It'd be Shaq and Steph. Yeah, probably be because I've never met LeBron yet. So yeah, I'd say those would be the two. I'd be like, damn, I really got to. I never call them ever. Yeah. But just to have that shit, I got Matt Barnes, Steven Jackson, But yeah, Shaq definitely. And we'll meet one day soon because he always DMs me. He's hella funny. I'll show you some DMs he sends me. Yeah. He's dancing in the shoes and stuff. And
that's awesome. He's got a great personality.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's transition to some of these kicks that we're looking at behind us. Yeah. I mean, obviously, these ones catching my eye, or the Kyrie's that you posted the first mock-ups. You finally got them in hand.
Yeah, so these are not Kyrie's, guys. These are the Cross Trail. It's okay. Right. These are the Cross Trail mids. This is this shoe actually we made out as a low top. So this is a low top. This is like a cross trainer. You go to the gym, you want some nice cool shoes. So we made them in a low top first, and then during the NBA Summer League, we Montrez seen them and he was like, "Yo, do you think I could play ball in them?" I was like, "Yo, I don't know if you could play ball in them. They weren't made for that." So I was like, "Yeah, but we'll give you a pair. You can play in the Summer League and let us know what we would have to do to it for you to be able to play ball in it." Mm-hmm. So he was like, "Man, the shoe was good." He was able to play in it, but he was like, it needs to be higher and all of that. So from Montrez's personal outtakes of it, he was saying, yo, make it higher and all of that. So then we made it as a high top. Like I said, we didn't design this or make this to be a basketball shoe, but it does look like a basketball shoe as a high top. So I was like, you know what, man? Let's make this this pair, we're going to send this to Kyrie for him to work out in, maybe before the game, if you just want to shoot around, if he wants to just you know, trick, you know, let Nike know, like, damn, fuck him up, be like, oh, what is he wearing? He's not wearing our shoe right now.
Yeah.
Like, somebody actually put a shoe on his foot. So this is actually a size 12. So this one is for Kyrie. And we used that saying he wrote on the side of his shoe, I am free. So I just literally why we made this one to send to Kyrie is to let him know, like, yo, we make quality products. So he can see the shoe and he'll be able to see the quality. He'll be able to be like, yo, that's dope. They make good quality. Imagine what they would do with a performance basketball shoe. So we have this colorway that I am free, and then we have this one that nobody has seen yet that we made from too. We made them in these Brooklyn Nets colors.
And the soles glow too, right?
Oh yeah, the soles glow in the dark, of course.
There's always something about your designs that you don't see firsthand.
So
you just
people
keep looking at it,
and a lot of people are like, man, why do so many of your shoes glow in the dark? But people don't understand that's really like a personal thing. Why I do glow in the dark, and it's really because, like, man, I have my daughter. She passed away and stuff like that, and I feel like no matter where you're at in the darkness, you should always be able to find light. So that's why a lot of my products actually glow in the dark. It's because of that. It's like in the darkness, you should still always be able to see light. That's why a lot of my products, for people who was asking, why do a lot of your shoes glow in the dark? Because at the end of the day, we're in the light. We're not in the dark right now, and the shoe looks fine. So if you have a problem with the shoe glowing in the dark, like, where are you going to be at in pitch black darkness where people are going to be like, your shoes are glowing? Anyway, if you don't like that feature, like, you literally have to be in pitch black darkness to even to complain about that, if that's something you would complain about. But yeah, so on a cross trail, the straps are removable. This is a shroud. And the reason why I had made the shroud on these shoes was one of my favorite Jordans is the Jordan 16s. And I had liked how the shoe was two different completely shoes if you took the strap off or the shroud. So this is what the shoe looks like without the shroud on there. Still a super dope shoe, right? And then you can throw the strap on there and then the other cool thing, right? So you have this one, and then we have this one, right? So now I'm gonna swap the straps.
Oh, okay.
See, and that was another thing I wanted. Is like, if you buy a couple pairs, you know. Oh shoot, this looks sick on here. Hold up.
That suede.
That suede to that suede. Now look at that. Now look at that.
Now you got a whole new shoe.
Right? Now you got a whole completely different looking shoe just by changing that strap, and that looks crazy, right? Right now there's an Oakland Raiders fan watching this video having a whole lot of hope because their season is down the drain, right? Shots fired.
Wow.
And now we're gonna put this one on this one. Boom.
With that
you can hold that one up.
With that patent and gold accent.
Yeah, look at that.
And the patent on the shroud. Oof.
And look at that gold piping. Let's show them that gold piping up close.
So hard.
Look at that. So now you got that patent on patent. So, like, literally, these are fire.
People are gonna say that's how they were supposed to be, right?
Right. I think they.
You know what I mean?
You know what? They should come with two straps.
Yeah.
Right.
There you go.
Let us know in the comment section. Should they come with two straps? Because we're actually going to put these up for pre-order close to the end of the month. Awesome. So a lot of people will be able to buy these and support the movement. Like, yo, let's get Kyrie on board.
Okay.
These are lit.
Yeah, that's so sick. And even since then, so you have been working on developing a shoe. So this one isn't specific. They're going to Kyrie, but this isn't specifically for Kyrie.
Yeah, this is just like a gift to show him, like, look, we make quality products. I want him to see that suede. Right. I want him to see that's patent leather. This is actually real patent leather. So the underside of this is actually leather, right? Wow. Usually patent leather that they use on Jordan 11s is fake. It's like polyurethane. There we go. So it's a polyurethane, which is just a synthetic. This is actually real patent leather. So, like, we really want to stress that we do care about quality and we want to put the greatest materials on the shoe for you. Like, everybody knows, if you watch Wear Test's videos, you know that Nike's been skimming on their technology. They're not even using real carbon fiber shank plates anymore. And it's a lot of these Chinese sneaker basketball companies that are making better performing athletic basketball sneakers than Nike. And I have access to all of those people.
Wow. So the shoe that you are designing to be an actual hoop shoe for Kyrie, where are we going to see that first?
You should see it to Kyrie first, right? You've seen the shoe, so he's being modest. He's seen the shoe. I let him see the shoe on my phone. He can tell y'all what he thinks about the shoe, but the shoe is already designed. So now we're in the process of making the mold, right? It's in the wood mold process right now, right? So that means they have to put like the inserts, like say like for example like a Nike shoe, right? Like for like a Kyrie, he'll have like a zoom heel, so it'd be like a zoom pad cushion in there will go on his heel. So on the mold you would see a shape cut out, and that would be for the tech to go in there. And all of this tech really does is to basically capture your energy and return your energy, right? So you want to capture that energy and return that kinetic energy. So for example, I just showed you guys earlier the SC20. This is a wood. This is the wood mold.
Oh wow.
So I know it's white, but
Couldn't even tell.
you hear that? This is made out of wood. So how it works is when you come up with a design. So since this was a whole EVA mold, they had to do the whole thing as one because the mold is one. If it was just the sole, you would only see the bottom, right? And then that's when you start breaking it down and seeing where you're going to insert your tech pods or whatever you're going to put in your shoe. So that's, you know, I know a lot of people you probably never seen anything like this, but this is how shoes are made. The wood mold is the first step. After you get the wood mold, then you start going to a EVA mold or a 3D print, right? We have 3D prints too. So once you go there, you get the 3D print. Now the 3D wearable print. So like for our Vulture foam shoe, the wearable print is heavy. You'll feel it, and I'll let you tell them like what was the difference. So you feel the weight of the shoe, but the one thing you do, that's exactly how it's gonna fit. So if you fit it and your toes don't hurt, you're like perfect. So this one, they had it as a 9. When I put it on, I told them, I said, no, make this an 8. All right, so this is a wood mold, right? So you're gonna hold that. Okay. So that's a wood mold of this same shoe. I painted it, it was white. I just want, you know, and then this is a 3D printed wearable mold. So this is, you can wear this. This is 3D printed and it's rubber. So,
wow.
Right?
Yeah.
Which one is heavier?
Difference.
Right. So the wood one is lighter. This one is heavier. And then now let's go to the actual shoe. Take the wood one down. I'll hold the wood one for you.
Yeah, big difference.
Yeah. So that's the one you will wear.
This is definitely one.
And you can feel the quality out of that. For being a foam shoe, that is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's nuts. It really is. I want a pair of these for myself. Like, really bad.
Those are crazy, guys. But I'm glad that you guys got to see this. Like, you got to see a wood mold of the Vulture foams. You got to see in the SC20. And then you also got the 3D print. So this is a 3D print, but you can wear this 3D print, which is crazy. And then you have the final product. So this is the way that a product usually goes. This is the product cycle, right?
Yeah, really
hand
cool.
this over this way. Yeah. So, like we were just talking about though with Kyrie, I've literally already designed the shoe, and I know when he sees the shoe, he's gotta be like, "This is crazy! Like, I can't believe you guys really did this." But I just want. One thing that it sucks for like people like me in this industry and what we do is that usually when you hear it's like a black owned company, you also a lot of times people just automatically think like, oh, it's cheap, it's inferior. No, I'm superior. Like the stuff that I'm doing is superior to these big brands because I have a different type of relationship with these products, right? This is my family company, right? This is the company I'm leaving to my children. So I gotta go above and beyond and meet all of those needs because I'm trying to pass something down that maybe Phil Knight is going to pass down to his kids and so on and so forth. I'm trying to create that generational thing. But the one thing with when I say like being a black-owned company, they just assume that you're inferior, that you can't put on the type of quality and you can't put that on. I just literally showed you guys this. And if you're unbiased and you see you looked at that and you looked at that shoe right up in this camera and you can't tell me that shoe's not quality, right? There's no way you can say that. You gotta be like, damn, that's better quality than the stuff I've been seeing in Foot Locker because it's just a fact. So when like I said, when I designed this new shoe for Kyrie, this is to show them, look, we can make the tech, we can make the designs, everything, and that's to show like, don't take us for granted because we work out of our garage, right? We work out of the garage because we choose to. Mm-hmm. It keeps it like that still grassroots company, but I know how to scale on a global thing. We're not a global company yet. I don't want to be a global company yet. Right. But I graduated school for this. Yeah. So this stuff that we're fulfillment centers, got it. Whatever you need, we got it. Like we don't take what we do for granted because I promise you, you're gonna be wrong.
Yeah. That's why you don't feel pressure, and that's why you're ready for this.
Nah, because I was waiting for this.
just looking at these shoes too, like he's not just saying this. I mean, these cuts are incredible. Every single stitch is laid perfectly. There's not extra glue hanging off. I mean, Nike's quality control has been so bad, especially in this past year. I can't tell you how many times I hop on my shoe pages on Facebook, and everybody's posting another sneaker that just came out. Mm-hmm. It's got glue, it's got dye stains on it, it's got a cut that doesn't even make sense, print errors that don't make sense, tongues have different stitching on them that aren't even supposed to be on the shoe, and this is literally perfect. Everything about it.
Man, thank you.
The quality of the materials, everything, just the way that it was laid out. Dope shoe. Dope concept.
Yeah,
Can't wait to
it's
see
crazy the
the
strap switch though. Like I'm
Yeah.
looking at it like,
No,
man,
it's
it looks
nice.
like, what did you say? They're gonna say this is how it should have
Yeah,
came.
this is how it should have came. That's what they're gonna say.
Fire.
Right, they're gonna say this is how it should have came. Like that's crazy because
I think
that
you're
strap
onto
is
it, though.
perfect. Yeah.
I think really, if they came with both straps, people would rock them, and
Yeah.
then that's more value for them too. Then they're getting 2 pairs in one.
Yeah,
Essentially.
yeah, that's dope. That whole thing is just great for a company like us to even be in consideration where a person of that, you know, where he's at in his career and just his status as a player is dope. That our company was able to even meet with him, that they've seen that much value in us. So maybe other people will start seeing the value in it. But like I just tell everybody, like regardless of how that plays out, we're not going nowhere, and you're gonna see a lot of fire stuff from us. Have a sneaker, like to have a dope sneaker that people actually want to wear, and they only want to wear it because it looks dope. They don't want to wear it because somebody advertised it to them. Like they literally saw it and saw that it was dope, and they didn't care if somebody was gonna make fun of them for wearing a shoe that nobody knows. And that's the dopest part about our company, because we get more customers and repeat customers because of our shoes, because they wore it to the airport. And they're like, man, I got stopped 20 times. People ask me, what shoes are you wearing? What shoes are you wearing? That right there makes somebody feel good. They're like, oh shit, I bought this shoe for $200. And I go out and mad people are asking me about this shoe that nobody knows about. I'm going to buy more because I like that attention now. So like this new attention is great. But at the end of the day, like, I know a lot of people are going to want to keep asking us questions about the Kyrie thing because look, I mean, the guy has 18 million followers. He's one of the best players to ever play the game. He is a real superstar. So I know people are going to ask about that, and we don't mind that. It's just that it's great though because of that, and because of him even mentioning us, more people are knowing about us, and that alone, what I say, 40,000 new followers.
Yeah, that's incredible.
You know what I'm saying? That could equate to $2 million in sales. So at the end of the day, man, it's all appreciated. And I appreciate every YouTuber now that are actually covering us, because I know a lot of you guys weren't covering us, you know, and the one reason why he's here, because he covered us in a way that was so dope that I knew he knew our company. Right? Not saying that there's anything wrong with you just finding out about us and then letting your followers know. That's dope too. But like, if you watch his original video, you can tell that he was in tune with everything I was doing. He knew from when I was FBCC doing the customs to what we're doing now. And me and my team loved his video so much. We told him, hey, if you can get to California, I'll give you my time so you can get an exclusive interview, because I appreciate people who do the hard work. I appreciate people who go above and beyond at what they're trying to do, right? So if you're doing a video on a company and you do it to the expertise and the knowledge that he put in that video, you should be rewarded for that. And I hope that everybody who's out there chasing their dreams, especially in 2023, that you get however much closer you need to get to feel like you're achieving, because everything doesn't happen overnight. I started customizing shoes in '97. Man, I didn't become a millionaire until fucking my 42nd birthday, so 2 years ago. And then from there, it skyrocketed, right? Yeah. But I started in 1997. So don't think that everything you want is going to come super fast. Right. I took an 11-year hiatus by joining the United States Coast Guard. So I did that for 11 years and then decided, you know what? I don't want to be the father that tells a kid to chase their dreams if you never chase yours. So don't stop chasing your dreams, man. And complacency is the death of creativity. Yeah. Peace.
Can you tell us at least just like what color scheme you went with the Kyries?
Oh, with the color scheme, where's my phone at? Let me see. What color scheme did we go with? I think we had pink, purple, white was in that
Pink,
thing.
Purple. So I'll say firsthand, the design, just like any other one of Devlin's designs, there's always more to it than what you see on the surface. So whenever we do see these shoes drop, hopefully the first time we see them, it's on Kyrie's feet, right?
Word, that would be amazing.
So if we do see that, I mean, you're going to have to do your homework. You're going to have to research, you know, what Kyrie's into, what Devlin can see from Kyrie, and really just dive into that shoe.
Yeah, it's some pink, some
nice.
Purple. It's
we're
nice.
looking at it right now.
Yeah, we're looking at it right now. We can't show you guys, but
it's
like,
a Kyrie. It is 100% a Kyrie.
It is a Kyrie. I'm getting raspberry vibes off of this. Like, and this is just one of the colorways. We're gonna do like 10 colorways to present to him. So regardless, I know nobody's gonna be able to just deliver what we're gonna deliver to him. And I hope that really like just lets him know like, yo, you're in good hands if you rock with us for real.
Well, Devlin, I appreciate you taking the time. I appreciate you having me. at the place where all the magic happens.
Yes.
And doing it so quickly and sharing all these products with us, man. I really appreciate it.
Man, thank you, man. And thank you for having me, man.
Always.